So what was the biggest thing you picked up? Like, we're not going to share all Lonnie's secrets here on the podcast.
Fold less. Fold no
fold
joke.
less?
Fold
Yeah?
less.
Fold less?
Yes.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Poker Central podcast, episode 154. Coming at you from the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino, the Pavilion Room, to be precise, a day before the main event as we are taping this, joined once again by Brent Hanks, my favorite and only co-host, still on the show, and the man of the hour, now a two-time bracelet winner, the winner of, in my opinion, the most prestigious and toughest tournament of the year, the 50K Poker Players Championship, winning the David Chip Reese Memorial Trophy. Mr. Phil Hui, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Does anyone think that the 50K is not the most prestigious event of the
main
year?
event? I don't know.
Really? I mean, but it's like its own thing. It's its own class. The 50K, it's all the variants. I mean, this is overall arguably the greatest poker player on the planet at the moment.
That's a little much.
No. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The luckiest. Right
I mean,
now.
the 50K is such a special beast, though, because for me growing up, watching the main event, it's always a bunch of random guys going deep with like one or two famous pros. But then when you look at the 50K, every single table, you know every single player. Mm-hmm. It's almost a miracle when you have someone at your table that you don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make it harder to even just begin to play?
Yeah, definitely. I always felt like I was the worst person at my table each day.
Wait, this year?
This year, yeah. My tables were ridiculous.
I saw your tweet when Ivy was at your table, and it was like that classic, I think it's from Casino, like the laughing.
Yeah.
But
Ray
I thought
Liotta,
that was sarcasm.
That's my favorite gift.
Like, I just thought that
No,
you were
it wasn't sarcasm.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Sarcasm that I was the best at the table. I think we were five-handed. It was me, Glance, Ivy, Mizrachi, and Mercier, and then Glance busted. So I was like, I thought it was really funny that I was playing four-handed with like three of my idols, and they're obviously three of the best players in the world ever, and going to be in the Hall of Fame. So I just tweeted like, finally I'm at a table where I'm the best player.
I mean, it is pretty epic that you get to play with your idols and then also play your way through the whole event and win it, basically leaving all your idols in the dust. Has that idea sort of settled in yet?
No, not at all.
Were you intimidated playing against Ivy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was day 2. Yeah, I was really intimidated. He had so many chips. I was just watching him and Mercier battle, like in the big bet games, and I was like in middle of hands. I'd be texting Lonnie. I was like, this hand is so sick. Like, look what Jason's doing this to Ivy, and then Ivy's doing this to Jason.
Right.
Yeah, I was kind of starstruck that day.
Well, how about was it day 3 when you guys were or was that the final table? Was that day 4? Because he came in.
We did 2 days of streaming.
Oh, day 4 was when I was on his left.
Okay, I'm confused. We did 2 days of streaming, but day 4 was when you were on his left, and he came in as an overwhelming chip leader and just ran pretty fucking terrible.
He
seemed tired. May not have played his C game. You know, when you look at the cards on their back, but.
I mean, it's harder to feel intimidated when you're playing like limit games because like they can't really do anything to you. So I felt a lot more comfortable when I was like sitting down and we were playing those games. But when they were playing big bet games and putting a lot of pressure on me, it was pretty intimidating.
Yeah, what I'm curious about as well, you said it was only the second time you played the tournament.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel as though that first time helped you this go around because that little bit of extra experience might have made you a little bit more comfortable?
I wouldn't say that experience made me feel more comfortable. Lonnie in general has made me feel more comfortable, like pumping me up and telling me how good I am and just helping me like realize that the results don't really matter. Another friend of mine, Jonathan Pollock, you guys don't know him, but I met him through the DFS community. He's helped me a lot mentally also. Like I used to really live and die on like results, and I was really emotional like on how I did, but the last like 2 years or so, they both helped me a ton on my mentality. Like, it doesn't really matter if I win $1 million or don't win any money. Like, my life's not going to change any. I'm already in a really good spot, and I already have, somebody to share it with. So
that's fascinating. So the mental game, the mental coach.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's been really good.
Let's take that back. Say 10 years ago, golf, forefront of your career. Did you struggle with the head game?
No.
as a golfer?
So that was what a lot of people loved about me. I actually never broke a club out of anger ever
Really?
in my life. And I started playing golf when I was 9. And if you guys play golf, that's really rare. People
Yeah.
slam their clubs, and the clubs are fragile, so they're easy to break. But
yeah.
that's what like the college coaches loved about me. Like I never got mad on the golf course at all. I never slammed clubs on the green, did any of that.
So you're always composed. You never, the results didn't beat you up,
but for
anything
some
like
reason,
that.
like when I got into mixed games, playing limit, everything just happened so slow. Like I don't know if you guys play horse games and stuff, but
Oh, yeah.
everything happens one bet at a time, and then you just see you're so far ahead, and then the river comes and you lose. It's so frustrating. Those games are like brutal.
But Bren mentions golf for people at home watching, maybe unfamiliar. This guy, for all we know, could have been on the PGA. We could be watching him on TV. How close did you get to the top?
So in 2012 was probably my best year as a professional. I think on the Adams Tour, which is a couple steps below the PGA Tour, I finished maybe top 5 on the money list. But in the fall, or in the spring, I Monday qualified into a web.com event, which is a step below. And then I Monday qualified into a PGA Tour event, which is the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
And then that year, I was pretty sure I was going to get my card through Q School. I was playing really, really good golf, and then I just had one bad round at Q School and didn't get my card. So at that point, it was I was deciding whether to go with poker or golf, and they had changed the qualifying school. It used to be 1 year, you go through Q School, you get your card, and you're on tour. But they changed it to 2 years, where you can only get your card to the web.com, and then you have to wait a whole nother year. So I wasn't ready to break even again for another year and make no money.
How long are you off the tee? Right now. We go out there.
Right now,
Yeah.
with all the new equipment, I'd probably hit it like 320 out here.
Holy shit.
Is that a lot?
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I play not nearly as often as I used to. And big guy, right? 280, and everyone I'm with is like, oh man, yeah, you're huge. But then I play with a guy I play with really good golfers. But watching guys like Phil, clearly professional level, and they're 40 yards past you.
Yeah.
That's a mind-numbing experience.
The funny thing is that, and you know this, up until literally 2 months ago, I always made fun of golf because I thought it was I don't know, it's a weird game. People chasing the ball, walking around, whatever. But now that I'm here in Vegas, I'm like, there's a golf course just down the street. I'm going to take some lessons. So I've taken 4 golf lessons so far. I can barely hit the ball, but I'm already loving it. I'm enjoying it. That number to me, though, sounds like,
Well, it's in Vegas.
Super far.
At sea level, I'm closer to 300.
That's still incredible.
But out here, I could hit it 320, 330 pretty easily.
So the decision then to pick poker over golf, there must have been a lot behind that decision, because you don't just give up on a dream and a career.
So in the fall, where I didn't do well at Q School, I won a ring in I think 2010 in Tahoe. So I was by myself. I was single. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a break from golf and go play poker at Tahoe, where I had success. And I was there by myself, and I ended up meeting some kid that I met online through PokerStars, and we hung out, and he ended up being friends with other friends who were friends with Lonnie. So I met Lonnie on that trip, and I flirted with her. We had drinks, we played table games with all our friends, and at the end of the night, we would just hang out and talk, and I got her phone number, and we just started talking a bunch, and I fell in love right away. So instead of practicing during the off season, which I always do, I just followed her around the circuit. And then I was actually in the middle of conversations with a golf channel to do a golf show about gambling and traveling the mini tours, because it's really, really tough traveling the mini tours. We spend so much money, but I was also playing online poker, and I would gamble on the side. So they wanted to do a show with me, and I was in the middle of talking with the producers at the golf channel and traveling the circuit with Lonnie. And then I drove to Tunica in late January, and I just told them I'm going to stick with poker, and I'm not going to go back to golf. So I ended up choosing to travel with Lonnie and play poker and follow that dream instead.
So at what point did you feel as though you were getting to that sort of right below the best players in poker, because you were right there in golf? Did you feel like you made steps quickly to get to a level in poker where you felt as though, okay, I'm surpassing where I was in golf?
Okay, so the summer of 2013, so I quit in 2012, and then the summer of 2013, I came here with Lonnie, And my very, very first bracelet event, I went deep. So with like 2 tables left, I was playing with Phil Ivey. And at that time on the side, they had little stands where people could watch. So the people that bought a piece of me were watching. And I opened 9-5 off, like in the cutoff. And
So no limit event.
no limit hold'em.
Okay, no limit.
It was a 1K no limit hold'em. I think it was event like 16 or 17.
Okay.
So I ended up, Taylor Parr won this event.
All right.
Event 18, I found it.
Okay, yeah. So I opened 9-5 off, and Ivy defends. And at this time, I'm like the typical poker player. I wear sunglasses. I have like all the stuff on or whatever, and I'm just staring at him. And it comes like King 8 deuce or something.
Okay, so
like
you hit
that.
it
Or no,
hard.
it comes like King 8-4,
Yeah.
something like that. I can't remember. But he check calls, and then the turn's an ace, and he checks, and I tank for a little bit, and I bet like half of his stack. And he just stares at me like the typical Ivy stare, and he folds. And my friends are like cheering, and they're like, "Oh, you had it, you had it." And I was like, I texted him, I was like, "Dude, I had 9 high. Like I just bluffed Phil Ivey." So like at that moment when we're playing for I think 400,000, I was like, man, if I can bluff Phil Ivey, then I'm gonna be okay in this business. So
That's like a rounder story, man.
Yes,
That's
everybody
incredible.
tells me
Yeah.
that. Everybody tells
That's
me that.
great.
It's
You
just,
sat
like,
with the
around me.
best and you beat them.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and I was like, this is incredible. Obviously, I got to the final table, and Taylor Parr was like top of the class, and I folded every hand trying to make as much money as possible, and he ran over all of us. So I wasn't quite ready, but that was cool to do that in a spot that I've never been in.
So from a mindset perspective, obviously you said in golf you were always the calmest guy, never broke any
Yeah.
clubs. Transitioning that into poker, how much has your golf background helped you in poker?
A ton, like tenacity and like just being persistent and never giving up, and just always knowing you have a chance for sure. It's a little more frustrating in poker because it doesn't matter how good you play. You could play every hand perfect, do all the math, and none of it matters. And most of the time when I played, and if I played my best, I won. So that's a little more frustrating coming from the poker side because there's an aspect where you can't control anything.
And then now we flash forward to, of course, you won a bracelet that people have seen that already. You won a bracelet in 2014 in an 08 event. But then last summer, and this is what you also talked to me about after you won the 50K, last summer, it sort of came crumbling down. You said your biggest losing summer, you and Lonnie both didn't
Right.
have a great summer. There was this long drive across the country. You guys live in Florida. Talk to me about that drive, what that was like, and how it sort of reignited the passion for the game to bring you to where you are now.
So we chose to drive because our dog was really sick. We had a dog for over 10 years. She had him for like over 10 years, but with me for like 5 or 6. And he had a heart condition, so we weren't allowed to fly with him because he would get too excited. So we decided to drive from here to make it easier on him, and then he could see my family one last time. So we as we were driving home, we were just talking about grinding, and I needed to. I was always really like whatever about No Limit Hold'em because it's so boring to me. But like for me not to access what Lonnie has, like she's obviously one of the best players in the world. I was really lazy about it. Like I'd be at home and I would just want to play mixed games or play fantasy sports or whatever. So she started telling me like a bunch of her tricks, and then like we drove 10 hours a day. We'd listen to like Eminem to pump us up and other rap music like that she likes, and she would just tell me a bunch of secrets. So when we got home, there was like $150 like 100K guarantee at Isle. So she was like, go try like all these tricks that to make me feel more comfortable, and I did okay. And then I would just sign up for every No Limit Hold'em tournament that I would always miss and skip because I didn't feel like playing them, and I just kept trying a lot of the stuff she told me.
Now wait, were all these tricks that she taught you before the Ivy bluff? So you got to
After.
implement
No,
that?
no.
Oh, this is after the Ivy
This
bluff.
is years after. This is 2018 we made the drive. The Ivy
Got
bluff.
it. Okay,
Like I
just
was always
recently,
a really
yeah.
aggressive player,
But
but
you had some tricks, man. You were
yeah. I was not. I mean, I was still better than the average No Limit Hold'em player. But
Yeah.
like for me, like as being a golfer, I wanted to I'm really competitive and always wanted to be the best. And it annoyed me to sit down at a No Limit Hold'em table where I didn't feel like I was the best player at the table. So like I surround myself with people that are better than me at everything. Like if you don't, then you really should if you want to get better at something. So all my best friends are really good No Limit Hold'em players, but I never put in the work to get better. So I would use stuff that she told me, and these players like Lonnie and Kyle Balker and Justin Liberto, they all always have a ton of chips at the end of the day. I'm like, how good did you guys run? And they're like, not that good, right? So like I started implementing stuff that they taught me, and like every tournament I would have like 10 starting stacks at the end of the night, like or whatever. And I was like, wow, this really is like, there's a skill to the game. It's not just luck. So
what was the biggest thing you picked up? Like, we're not going to share all Lonnie's secrets here on the podcast.
Fold less. Fold no
fold
joke.
less?
Fold less.
Fold less.
Yes.
Like, does that mean just any sort of not folding, like raising, calling, limping? Like,
I mean,
anything?
it's hard to make a pair. It really is.
Yeah.
So, fold less.
Fold less and fight.
Fight. Yeah.
You
battle.
gotta fight. You
Tenacity.
gotta fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, that's fascinating.
That's really cool because you're very much known as a mixed game player,
Right.
and then also. Talking about your win, you were saying as well you were taking low variance routes in the big bet games because you knew you would get the chips in like, you know, the horse games basically.
It's just that I couldn't get pushed around in those games. Like you can't be like, oh well, I might have like one pair and a no limit hold'em hand, and they're like, he won't call me if I go all in. Like you can't do that to me in a stud game. I can see your board. Like, you know, I know how to read the board. So I felt more comfortable. Like, I didn't necessarily think I was better than them at horse games, but I didn't think they were better than me. So I felt more comfortable competing with the best players in the world at those games than as opposed to pot limit Omaha or no limit hold'em.
Interesting you mentioned stud. What is your best game out of the variants that you played in the 50K?
08 and stud 8 for sure.
And stud 8. I'm happy you said that. I watched every single hand, and I noticed pretty early on, I thought you were the best stud 8 player at the table. Every time it switched over, you always accumulated during that game, and you always made every single decision quickly and accurately, including a couple bluffs. You put Josh, especially in heads up, in some really tough spots.
Yeah. I love that game.
God, that was amazing to watch.
What is it about that game that sort of separates you in that environment? Because obviously everyone gets to see all the boards. You know, it's a game of information much more so than triple draw, where you just get the draws. You don't get to see all the cards. What is it that makes you good at stud 8?
Well, I got to give a little shout out to Ite, Esther Taylor. She helped me a lot with my stud 8 game. I think I played with her in the 10K stud 8 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And then she invited me to play at their game at the Parks. So I've learned a lot from her in stud 8 and Alan Berry.
Alan Berry?
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out Alan Berry.
What's up, Alan?
He loves us and he hates us at the same time.
And he watches all the time.
He's a sicko. He's
angry little bastard, isn't he?
Yeah. If you don't know him, he can be a little.
We love Alan.
We do love Alan.
We go way back with Alan. So then this 2-day run in the 50K that's streamed on PokerGo, for the people who haven't watched it, by the way, that's on demand available. If you really want to work on your mixed game, that is one way to do it. And you mentioned it yourself, watching a lot of mixed game coverage, Dolly's game, the other mixed games that we've had on PokerGo. Very, very helpful. But then you find yourself in this moment where you are playing and your whole cards are being shown.
Yeah.
What was it like to play this big of stakes on a stream?
So, like from January to before the series, I literally watched all the mixed game stuff, all the final tables, everything. Reread some books on stud, and then for me to be on PokerGo, I was telling Lonnie, I was like, this is so crazy. Like I was staying up till like 5 a.m. watching like every cash game and everything, just sharpening up my skills, and then now I'm on this and watching myself. It's a little surreal. Yeah.
And now we're just going to have to build a game around you, which is going to be kind of fun too, right? Let's get Alan out here.
I don't want to play with those guys. They're better than me.
A little Ite, Alan.
I love that.
We'll play a little smaller. You guys can have some fun, needle each other.
Yeah.
You know, have a little fun.
This final table, you come into the final table. You know, you're not chip leader. You're in a good spot. You can do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Arya is the chip leader. Talk to me about your mindset going into the final table, because obviously this is the biggest moment of your career. There's $1 million on the line. One mistake could cost you so much money. What was your mindset?
So I came in. I finished the day 4 pretty good. I got to 4 million. I think I was 2 or 3 of 6 coming in, and obviously I wasn't necessarily trying to ladder, but I wasn't trying to make a mistake. I wanted to make sure that I maximized like how much money I was going to win, and I thought I had a good chance if I got heads up. With Josh, Esposito, or Bryce. I thought because
Uncle Johnny.
only because they were a little less experienced in the horse games.
Yeah.
But obviously they were all better than me at the big bet games. But Deeb and Jungle Man being gone early, them playing these games every single day, that was a big big thing.
I want to touch on jungle. For whatever reason, I keep hearing it from peers and from other colleagues. They seem to assume that jungle isn't any good at mixed games, but he's actually, correct me if I'm wrong, he's like one of the best.
Yeah, the guy's a
Like
genius.
he's literally one of the best players at all the games.
First of all, Jungle Man doesn't take himself or anything else in the world any serious. Like, he just makes fun of himself, makes fun of everything around him. So I interviewed him twice during the 50K,
Yeah.
and he kept saying how it was his destiny to win, and like he said all these outrageous things.
Right.
But then you also see the wheels turning in his head, and he's the type of person who basically will like look straight through you, as well as at the poker table, as well as in conversation. So I feel like there's no tricking him. Like, he's always sort of a step ahead. What do you think about his play, and is he truly special? Because we also know people are saying that he might be a fish.
So stupid.
I agree. That's dumb to say. He's phenomenal. He's one of the best players I've ever played with. But one thing I think that I enjoyed was he was so funny. He made me really, really comfortable, so it was less intimidating to play with him.
Huh.
Like, he would make his jokes like, I'm in the jungle, or we're in the rat streets. Like, he made it really, really comfortable. So, like, him being like a phenomenal big bet player, but he made me more comfortable to play hands with him. Like, because he wasn't so stoic like Ivy or Mercier and all those guys.
Did you see his porn video?
I saw clips of the a little bit
That
of it.
made me feel comfortable. Like, seriously.
but
yeah,
I asked him for the full version. He said that was a joke. There's
Yeah.
no full version.
Oh my God.
But Brent,
Yeah.
you also have said this before, that not everyone is impressed with how he plays. Where does it come from?
I mean, you hear it from peers and colleagues, and I was reading, I think it may have even been our good friend Alan, who we've already talked about, giving his honest opinion about players in their games, and Jungle being one of them that's asked about.
I mean, what's the sample size that people have watched him? Why don't you ask the guys in the Bobby's room if they think
yeah.
he's good
Right,
mixed?
right, yeah.
Like-
I mean, I think there was a time where it was like, oh, Jungle's in, and he wasn't great at the games. And I've heard stories where they'll intentionally not force him to ante in certain games
I heard that.
because he doesn't know it yet. But it's just a matter of
he's not
time.
good. Yeah, exactly.
But it's also the thing where our good friend Martin Garrits, who is good friends with Jungle Man.
Wait, who?
Martin Garrits.
Oh, Garrits, okay,
big tall Dutch friend.
Okay, yeah.
He always tells me that Jungle is the fastest in the world at picking up a new game. If you invent a new game on the spot with like completely made up rules, he'll be the first one to master it, and he'll ask like all the right questions right away. So I think that's sort of how his brain works. So
Yeah.
even though he might be playing, RAS for the first time 6 months ago, 6 months later, all of a sudden he's the best RAS player.
He
Yeah.
seems like the type that would be obsessive over being the best at like everything.
Yeah.
Did he make any comments to Ivy? Any needles or jabs when Phil was losing pots? And
I think he said
Struggling.
something like one hand, like, "Why are you always mad when I win a pot versus you?" or something like that.
It's so Ivy is such a special character too. But the Bobby's Room game that you guys also mentioned.
Yeah.
When can we see you in Patrick and Tony's Snapchat stories? Because
Never.
You're not gonna go mingle
Never.
with those
they're
guys.
playing right
Never.
now. Mercier's
You
been
give
playing
me $1
18
billion
hours.
and I would never play with those guys.
Okay, so what separates you from them? What makes those guys the true killers?
They're just better than me. I like the tournaments and cash are completely different. Like, I was watching the Godfather cash game on PokerGo.
Yeah.
And like, I immediately thought they were all terrible. I was like, what are they doing? And then I kept watching, and I was like, holy shit, they're just on a completely different level.
Wow.
Like, I was like, the hands they were showing up with, the things they were doing, like, I don't play like that because I'm used to having like 15, 10 bets in front of me. So like, I maneuver small amount of chips, and they're always having 100 bets, so they do a bunch of stuff. And watching like Scott Seaver and Gus Hansen, I saw Gus Hansen bet call a queen versus Ras on one of the shows in Deuce, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? And then I saw Seaver maneuver like a stud, like certain stud hands and 08 hands, and I'm like, these guys are just on a completely different level. I can compete with them when they can't reach in their pocket and buy more chips, and they're playing 10 bets because they can't do that kind of stuff. But I would never try to go to the Bobby's.
Oh, that's a great point.
It is.
It's something you don't think about.
But it's so daunting too, because Patrick Antonius on his Instagram, he posts stories now every day about him playing like 2K, 4K, or 3K, 6K. Mercer is battling as Jungle Man, John Hannigan, Alex Kostritsin.
Well, Gus is here too.
Gus is here too. And at some point, I wonder, and I look at these lineups, like, who's winning here? Like, they all
Right.
seem like such killers. It's insane.
It
to
doesn't make
me.
any sense to me either. Like, 25-year-old me would have had a huge ego and would have been like, yeah, I can beat those guys, but 30-year-old Phil, like, no, thank you. I don't want any part of it.
And they do the props too, ginormous props.
Right.
I mean, Doyle's in a lot of those games as well.
Yeah.
Right. Opie's
yeah.
one of the best too.
A lot-
I
yeah,
love
also
watching
I
him
never
play.
even played with him, and
Yeah.
they were telling me. I think Deep told me, like, you sure you want to like steal his bring-in and stud? And I'm like, I don't even know who he was. And apparently he's one of the best in the world. So
Wait, as far as stealing, like, is it kick your ass or
no? I think I opened his bring-in.
Oh, okay.
In stud high with like a king, like a steal spot.
And he's just gonna beat you. Oh yeah, you had like king 4-8 underneath.
Yeah,
I remember
like
the
that.
hand. Yeah.
Oh, I think I had a king jack 9 or king something like that.
That's way too good.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were like, Dee told me that to be careful, like his board could look better than whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it's also that he might lash out at you, and you might just calm down after
Is
that.
he like that?
He's
I've
been
never played
snappy.
with
He's a
him.
bit
I've never played with
feisty.
him.
Oppenheim is an interesting character. $1 million for the win.
Right.
How does that change your life?
It makes it more comfortable, but I don't think it's going to change it any.
Does it like allow you to play bigger? Do you have ambition in poker that you haven't been able to do yet?
I hit the pinnacle, man. Playing the 50K. Now I can play it every year, so that's good.
Yeah.
But no, like I don't have any. I don't want to play bigger and no limit hold'em. I'll play small mid stakes hold'em, 5Ks and stuff like that, WPTs. But I have no interest in playing like with all the best pros in the 25Ks, 100Ks.
You still have goals left for the summer?
Yeah, I want to win POI for sure.
That's
definitely.
it,
Yeah,
right there.
That's my goal. That was my goal before the summer started.
What a shot you have now to do
Right,
that, right? How
yeah.
far behind is he right now with Dan Zach?
Yeah, so as we are recording, and you guys might watch this at a later point, so we don't know what the standings will be, so always go to PokerCentral.com to watch the latest standings in the POI race. As of right now, you are just behind Dan Zach, who's basically been in the lead since event number 1. It's
Right.
been pretty incredible. We're, like 50 events in, and he's still in the lead. It's Dan Zach, then it's Sean Deep, Scott Clements, Jason Gooch, who's basically won 2 online events. He finished first and second. And then Anthony Zeno and Upeshka da Silva. A lot of big names there near the top. Would that mean almost as much to you as winning the 50K if you win the Player of the Year race?
100%, yes. To see my face on the banner every year, that'd
Forever.
be
You're just up
forever,
there
yeah.
hung in the rafters.
That would
man.
be incredible. I think Zeno's about to take over the lead, though. He's got a lot of chips in stud 8.
Zeno is in 6th place
Yeah.
right now.
He's gonna win, so
And,
I would assume.
he's
I would-
what, 5-handed in stud 8 right now as we speak?
Is he
that
really?
right?
Wow.
I know.
don't know.
I
We'll have
don't
to
know what
find
he
out.
is, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume he's gonna win.
John Turner too, iconic.
Oh yeah.
Pearl Jam.
Pearl
I mean,
Jam,
he's
right.
got a shot to
A lot
come
of
out
a lot of
the
guys lingering. Negrano is
Yeah.
12th. Like he's like one win away from being in
Yeah,
the lead
it's a
as well.
coin flip right
Wow.
now between everybody.
So-
Next one to win.
So Player of the Year. There's no money attached to it. It is basically the banner, the recognition. Does that mean that the accolades in the game mean a lot to you, sort of from a longevity point of view?
Yeah. So, like, quitting golf and not really doing what I wanted to do in golf, and then I wanted to make sure that I came to poker and got everything out of it that I could. So maybe one day making the Hall of Fame, winning Player of the Year, winning this tournament it means a lot. So that's definitely a goal of mine.
And then looking ahead, do you want to win more bracelets and sort of move up those ranks? We know that Mercer, relatively speaking, has only been playing for about 10 years at this high level. He already has 6 bracelets. You can basically do this year after year and slowly creep the ranks. Or are you more interested in maybe winning a WPT or going to Europe? Like, what do you sort of feel in that sense?
WPT's more along the lines of like Lonnie's dream. Like that's what she wants to do. I would love to win a big no limit hold'em tournament also. Like that would be cool. But yeah, definitely, I want to win as many bracelets as I can. The WSOP summer, I love it. It's really, really fun for me.
I think we had a contender right here.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm telling you, Helmy thinks he's just run away safe. No prayer. And the fact that you mentioned Mercier, I'm glad you said that. He's out here now for the summer. In fact, Bobby's room, which we also just talked about, texted him this morning, 18 hours straight. He's been playing over there, nosebleed games. The games are running nonstop. But he's also playing these bracelet events. He's just trying to win as many bracelets as he can. He can't stay away. He and Natasha, they had to come out here,
We're
get
friends
after
with
it.
him, so like he's been cooped up at home, taking care of his family. So I know he's itching to play. Like he's loving it out here right now.
Oh yeah, I saw Natasha on your rail. Actually, that was
Yeah.
awesome. Really cool sight to see.
I've been friends with her. I met her the same week I met Lonnie
Really?
in Tahoe. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
I've known her
awesome.
for 6-7 years also.
Talk to me about your relationship. You guys, I called you guys a power couple in poker because there's not many couples that were both sides of the couple have a bracelet. Lonnie, of course, a crusher and no limit hold'em. What's it like to date someone who is basically doing the same thing on a very high level?
It's incredible because you come home after a bad beat or months and months of a downswing, and they just understand. Like, if you're a grinder in poker, male or female, find somebody you can trust in poker also, because it makes things a lot easier. The support she gives me is incredible.
So does it also mean that every single dinner and every single nighttime story is a hand of poker in some kind of way?
No, we don't really talk a lot of poker. We watch a lot of reality TV. So we're a normal couple. But yeah, during the series we talk poker, but at home we love football, we love sports, and we love to eat. I cook a lot, so we go out and eat a lot of good food, and we watch sports.
Wait, you're Chef Wee?
My dad's a chef, so
really?
yeah.
Wow.
I cook a lot. I cook every day.
What can you whip up? What's your best meal?
We do the Blue Apron thing, so.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
so I
ingredients
cook
come
anything,
in, you
yeah.
get right into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Food Channel.
Yeah.
I watch the Food Channel, and I love to cook.
Me
Whatever
too.
she wants. If she wants I'll try to make anything.
You guys are staying here at the Rio?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you come over and stay at our place, and we can just cook in the kitchen. We'll give you a bedroom. How's that
Whatever
sound?
you want.
Oh,
And
God,
then I'll
great.
bring some mayo.
I didn't invite you.
But I'll bring mayo. I'll come over. Please, can I?
Fuck.
Do you like mayonnaise?
Who doesn't like mayonnaise?
There we go. But then also, I mean, Brent.
It's not the mayonnaise, Remco. That's
No,
the problem.
I know
Phil,
that.
Don't let him start on that note, because here's the thing. What he does is he takes a beautiful fucking steak, gorgeous steak,
Oh, yeah,
No, no,
don't do that.
and he smothers it in
No,
mayo.
no,
No, he
no.
Swear to God.
You're overselling it. You're overselling it.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
casual dip.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Dip
like
it in the mayo.
Don't
it's
do
like
that.
I'll have you try it. I'll bring out some good mayo.
Yet to convince anybody, but you always preface it with, "Do you like mayonnaise?" It's not about liking mayonnaise. It's what you dip in the mayonnaise.
Well,
Mayonnaise
Maria,
you
belongs
ruined
on a
the
burger.
Maria Ho said she said, "I love mayonnaise. I've never tried it with steak, but you sold me on it. I'm going to try it."
She was lying to you.
She
Don't
wasn't
do that to
lying.
a
She was
steak,
lying
guys.
to you.
No, it's beautiful.
No, she's
It's
not.
like a
Salt,
béarnaise.
salt and pepper.
It's like a béarnaise
I've had
sauce.
enough of Mayogate. Can we please move on?
Anyway, we will move on because we have a few more things to ask
Okay.
here. What I want to know from you, having played with so many legends of the game, what's your top 5 of players that you faced at the poker table? I also want to hear the context, when it was, how it was, but what's your top 5?
So I told you the Ivy story.
Yeah,
He's number 1 for sure.
Ivy won.
I love that.
The hardest player probably I've ever played against is Sean Deeb.
Okay.
I think he's probably the best tournament player in the world.
Yeah.
Paul Volpe,
Wow.
Sick.
Crusher.
Chirp.
unbelievable. I haven't played with Mercier a lot, but him being out of the game for so long and then watching him play four-handed was unbelievable. I was like in shock.
What do you see then? Like, what is it that you notice?
So he played this hand versus Ivy. I think it was day 3. Ivy, they're both super deep, and I'm just watching them play. I think they were like both top 3 in chips with like 30 something left. Ivy opens a no limit hold'em. Jason 3-bets the big blind. Ivy calls. It comes like queen deuce 3. Jason bets. Ivy calls. The turn is like a deuce. Jason bets. Ivy calls, and the river is like a brick, like an 8. And Jason just bets like all his chips, but like 10 bigs. And I'm like, what is this dude trying to rep? Like aces, kings, and queens. It's like it. And Ivy just sits in the tank forever and folds. And I'm like, I'm texting Lonnie. I'm like, this is insane. Like Jason still got it. This is
I read about that hand, and he
It's
down bet the
unbelievable.
flop, right?
Right.
And then he picked it up big
Right,
on the
right.
turn, fat on the
Huge
turn, fat on the
turn.
river.
Right, yeah, and then huge on the river. And I'm like, this guy doesn't care.
I know what he had.
This is a 50K.
You know what he had?
I
I know what he had too. He
Yeah.
told me what he had.
Yeah,
What did he have?
I'm not going to say it.
can't
but
reveal it.
Can't reveal it?
No, I can't reveal it.
Wow. Was
No.
it exciting to hear what he had?
Let
Yes.
me put it to you this way. He owed Ivy one. Do you remember when Ivy looked him up in that cash game, and then Elliot Lesher made the comment like, "Welcome to Ivy's house, kid."
Oh,
You
yeah,
tried to
yeah,
bluff
yeah.
him off.
Yeah.
I'll
off
just
a
say
hand.
Jason still got it.
Yeah.
He's just
Still got it.
Yeah.
God, it must be nice to be that good at a game of poker.
Yeah.
So we got 4 names there. We need one more.
Shulman.
Shulman?
Shulman's a
Yeah,
fucking man,
go.
dude. He's unbelievable.
That's
Wow.
my favorite top 5.
This
You know
is
what? He
fun.
might be number 1.
Shulman's number 1.
I don't know. He's so good at everything.
He also has that swag.
Right.
Just incredible amounts of swag.
Yeah,
I'm intimidated by him just like looking at him at the table. I'm not even at the table.
beautiful son
He's
of
so
a bitch.
he's so intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
we
great.
got Ivy, Sean D, Paul Volpe. Jason Mercier, and Nick Schulman.
You can interchange them however you want.
Dude, that's
but
a beautiful
strong
list.
I wouldn't
five.
want to play with any of them. So
No.
Wow.
yeah,
That's
Wow.
intense.
Lonnie Harwood also. Can I add her in there?
Absolutely.
Well,
She's
she's a given.
busted me 3 times.
Really?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I've never won a hand off of her. She's vicious.
Limited experience, and she fucks me up every time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and every time I don't think she's got it. Every time she just rolls it over, pure.
Oh,
Yeah, look
God,
her up, light. Every
beautiful.
time she bluffs me, works.
She always has it.
Yeah.
Right? You call her, she's got it.
Got it when I call her. Yeah, and every time I don't, then she just gotcha. You know.
that's how poker works. All right, we got a few small things here to wrap up, and we got too many questions here for Phil Hui on the podcast. I just want to mention to you guys that the World Series of Poker main event final table is coming up. 3 straight days of coverage on ESPN, and if you are in a non-ESPN or ESPN-affiliated territory, you can watch it on PokerGO, but please check your local listings for that information. But the main event is basically right around the corner, and as you're watching this, it might already be going on, so check on ESPN. There's tons and tons of hours of poker content of the greatest tournament in the world on the biggest sports television network in the U.S., which is really exciting to show the game of poker in such an amazing way on ESPN. But then, Phil, we have too many questions for you here to wrap up the show. The list is long. It's 555 questions. There is some weird ones in there. I just want to start. Give me one number. I'll spin the wheel, and I'll let you
Can
know.
we rig it one of these weeks where we just
We could-
automatically have 3 really weird
We
questions
could rig it
and
technically.
just lie to them?
So far, we haven't rigged it
all
yet.
of them.
We need that, yeah.
Yeah.
Real crazy stuff.
20, number 20.
20. Okay, wow. It's the lowest number we've ever heard on the show. This is a pretty funny one. What's your favorite physical feature about people who you are attracted to?
Wow.
Teeth.
Big teeth guy.
Yeah, straight teeth.
Big teeth guy.
Wow.
So not
Yeah.
that you're going teeth.
Yeah.
So
teeth.
A lot went booty last time.
So Brent's out.
Oh, very high. I got yeah.
You got a straggler.
You know, when I used to go to the dentist, had a retainer.
Yeah, why don't you
all
get it
that.
fixed?
Well, I mean, I'm old now. I don't
Doesn't
care.
doesn't matter anymore?
Yeah, once you get past a certain age, yeah, fuck it.
So Perlot Friedman, Booty Man, Phil Hui, Teeth Man.
Big teeth guy.
Give me another one.
117.
117. All right. Let's
This
see.
is
What we have.
1 through 500.
555.
555.
Too many questions.
How many people said 555?
Nobody.
Nobody?
Yeah.
Nobody has said one either. What's the closest you've ever come to being arrested?
Probably actually being arrested.
No. In the parking lot at a grocery store in Cherokee, somebody left some weed in my car,
Uh-oh.
and the people that parked next to us smelled it. And then when we came out of the grocery store, the cop was waiting there for us.
What?
That's in
And-
Oklahoma?
No, this is in North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina.
At Harris Cherokee, and they're really, really strict there. The cop was not happy.
And did you get off with a warning or?
Yeah, he took it. He
Just
took
took the
there was
weed?
like a little joint or something in the side of my car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, that's some scary stuff. Brent, have you ever gotten arrested?
Close enough.
What happened?
Yeah. Well, all right. We're going to do this?
Yeah, we
Okay.
are, yeah.
Okay. Senior year of college.
Has the statute of limitations run out yet? Or?
Yeah. But I mean, I almost got kicked out of college.
Oh, okay.
There's a month left. There's a spring weekend, we called it. Everyone just gets fucked up. Softball tournament outdoors. My buddies and I decided, really drunk, that it would be a good idea to steal 2 security golf carts from I went to St. Bonaventure. And my buddy was a farmer, so he knew how to just rig this thing. Had a giant hunting knife and cut it open. We confiscate 2 security golf carts, and we head to the bars. And we are almost there. We're in sight. We're like from here to the cameras away. And all of a sudden, this undercover black car swoops in front, another one in the back.
Wow.
We had a plan, right? if we get stopped, we get pulled over. Everyone just gets out and runs. Fuck it.
Oh my God.
Nobody did anything. We just froze, let the cops take us. So the cops pull us over. They do that, and then we're off campus. So the cops are kind of laughing. They're like, "Listen, security, this is your shit. These guys are hammered. What do you want us to do with them?" We got off the hook because Bonaventure security said we'll take them. Otherwise, we would have had to spend the night in jail.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah. So that was the closest I've ever been to being arrested.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You're a
Wow.
partier, huh?
I had my days. Yeah.
All right, one more number, and then we'll wrap this up.
7.
7. All right. If you go out to socialize, what things do you enjoy doing the most?
Going to sporting events. Does that count?
Yeah, it does.
That's
Absolutely.
socializing?
All right,
I
give me
love
your top
going-
3 sporting events live that you've attended.
I went to one of the Western Conference final games, Spurs versus Utah, when Karl Malone elbowed David Robinson and knocked him out.
Oh, wow.
I went to the Cowboys versus the Bears a couple years ago. Lonnie bought that for my birthday, and that stadium was cool. That was a really fun experience.
At Soldier?
Yeah,
Or Cowboy Stadium? It's Soldier, yeah.
Yeah. And then we used to work March Madness in college, our golf team, because in San Antonio, I went to UTSA. We hosted the Final Four the year, I think North Carolina won, maybe. I can't remember what year, but hosting that event and working that event was awesome.
Wow. That's
Bucket list item. Where do you want to go for sporting events that you've never been?
Masters,
I'm
Augusta.
just hoping you'd say that. Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
I got invited to play there once, but our coach wouldn't let us go.
What?
Wow.
We had midterms.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
How do you get to play at Masters?
So
Or at like Augusta, I guess.
the year Stephen Ames won the Players, he's from Trinidad and Tobago. I think it was 2000. I can't remember, but 2008 maybe. One of my teammates is from Trinidad and Tobago, and he invited us to go play.
Wow.
And like once you win a tournament, you're allowed to play at Augusta before the tournament starts.
No shit.
And our coach was like, "No, you can't go."
Damn. So
Wow,
might
fuck
never,
you, coach, man. Come
might
on.
Never, might never
I
happen
understand.
again.
Yeah.
No, I thought I was gonna get to play there as a professional, obviously.
Yeah, of
But,
course.
Yeah.
All right.
Won't
Well,
ever get to play
That's
there.
so cool.
those are some good bucket list items to
Yeah.
have. But playing is still an option, or do you really have to?
I think I'm pretty good at poker now, so I might just stick with that.
Good idea. All right, that was the Poker Central podcast. Brent, thanks for being here again. Phil, good luck in that POY
you.
chase.
Thanks
I'm
for
just
having
going to
me,
let
guys.
you know, a deep main event run might hurt your POY chances. How do you feel about
Depends how deep it is.
that? Exactly. That's the right answer.
I might need a partner in a scramble in a couple weeks. Are you available?
No, I don't play golf anymore.
Wow, he's out.
Sure as shit not taking your dumb ass.
I'm in. I'm in. I'm your new caddy slash.
Wipe that ball with mayo.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys all so much for watching and listening. If you are just listening to this podcast, please know that the Poker Central podcast is on PokerGo every single week, so you can watch us as well for as much as you want to, of course, see Brent Hanks. If you are listening, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast network. That's highly appreciated. And then we'll catch you guys next week in the middle of all the main event craziness. Until then, we'll see you next time.